Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 13th round of Season 17 in Division 2. We are officially now in the final 6 races, the extra races, if you so will, compared to last season's calendar. Of course, well, the last few seasons' calendar, of course, we always had 12 races. This season we've gone up to 18, so these are bonus rounds. I'm not sure how you want to call it, but either way, we are in the finishing stages of the championship in Division 2, and it's turned out to be, after what looked for so long to be a complete Sully domination job, a pretty close championship fight in the end. At the moment, Sully does still lead on 180 points, but we've got Gabri 29 behind on 151, and then PC Woody 30 behind on 150. All three of them in attendance today. Sully was actually a doubt for a very, very long time. He actually only messaged and told us that he'd be racing today. At first, he was supposed to miss the race because of work. Then he had a pretty bad injury while playing football, which didn't mean he didn't have to work, but also he couldn't actually drive. But he sorted out something. I'm not quite sure what he's done, what voodoo doctor he has contacted to get himself ready for this race. But Sully is here to get himself those points that he needs. Gabri is the last one left to join the lobby. Once he is in, we can ready up. In terms of today's grid, we are missing a couple of main drivers. Both Aston Martins, Action Rick and Desi, dropped out late. They weren't replaced. Mihai is still on vacation. He's been replaced by Bobodinho. And apart from that, we have got Ossie in the McLaren, not racing tonight either. He was replaced by Marco. And that's that, I think. Yeah, Bobodinho in the Mercedes, Marco in the McLaren. Was there one more? I don't think so. No. Okay. So an 18-car grid for this Canadian Grand Prix, and a track that, in my experience, tends to create some very, very good racing, both in real life and especially on the Formula 1 game. So I'm very much looking forward to these 35 laps, of course, first, upcoming the qualifiers. And a track that really does ask quite a lot from drivers. It's a pretty difficult track. Gabri still having connection issues. Sunny skies though here in Montreal. Shouldn't be any rain for qualifying then, unless there is a massive shift in the weather forecast. Session actually has not loaded in yet. I'm not sure what's we're waiting on here. Got a timer stuck at 00. And oh, okay, now it's counting down. I have no idea. Okay, there we go. We've loaded into the session. I'll just drop Gabri one more invite just in case. I'm not sure if he's if he needs that, but it can't hurt. Well, Sean is unhappy, Vara is happy, we've got a wet race. Rain at the start of the race says pigs, okay. Wet to dry flavors, okay, so we've got a dry qualifier and then a wet start into a dry finish. So once again, the trend continues, Division 2. Probably the most wet racing league I've seen in my life, honestly. Division 2 Season 17 has the highest humidity in league racing, for sure. And the first couple of cars out on the track, I think that's one of the Mercedes boys. That will be Bobodinho, who's first on the track. He's been reserving for a couple different teams in the last few weeks. He's been in the qualifying very, very strong, but usually, well, he was on for 2 podiums, 2 P2s in fact, at both Austria Reverse and the Mystery Grand Prix and Imola. In Austria, he had a puncture on the last lap, and Imola, he ran out of fuel on the last lap, and both times it cost him, yeah, a second place finish. So if he can avoid something like that today, could be a great result. He's been showing a great pace as of recent. And he shall be the first one to put a lap in this session. Of course, Montreal, you are going to struggle quite a bit with track limits, especially coming into this last corner. The Wall of Champion chicane, named that for a very good reason. Plenty of champions have crashed here, have ended their hopes on picks with a disconnect of a race win, of a pole position on that day in that barrier. Not even online. Great. He'll be under UWEC, I think. Yeah. Oh, Sully actually disconnected and he's back in. No idea when he went out. Is there anyone else not in right now? Pix, I just invited him. Sully's back, and then Gabri. So, Bobodinho coming to the end of the first lap here, down towards the Wall of Champion chicane. I didn't see much of the lap, unfortunately, as I was inviting people, responding to Discord messages, but that looked good, but it's a little bit too much curb on the inside on the second part, and here validates. It would have been a 109.560. Unfortunately, it doesn't count. Marco through the last corner, someone else up ahead over the line, and that's Pocho, 10.571, which is a second slower than what Bobodinho would have done. And Marco, 11.5. Loving the points, 0.5s right now, but very different situations before that. Gabri still not in. I hope he can get in. That would be quite a blow for his championship hopes, for his championship ambitions. And so many invalidations right now. Guga now goes top on a 109.589. Pubdog coming over this back straight. And into the Wall of Champion chicane, braking just after 100 meters. And that looked good. A little bit of a safety gap on the second part, making sure that it stays valid. That's a 110.487. As Pix is back in the lobby. About Sauber of Overwise also on the push lap right now. Apart from that, I see a couple of cars up ahead. That's Edwin on an out lap. So one of those guys finishing a lap. Pocho just did one. And then that is Sean finishing an out lap, and behind that would be an Alpine or a big Guga then. So we can go on board with Overwise. He's next across the line. And that's one of the Williams up ahead, spinning into the pit entry, or Alpine actually, and got teleported back onto the track. So that would have been Guga, I think, as Overwise goes 4 fastest. I'm not sure how you spin that pit entry, it's just a straight braking zone. Really, you shouldn't be able to do that. So he's gonna have to crawl around the track, probably without fuel now. Viral over the line, a 10.956 on a used set. I think he did multiple laps on that tire as he invalidated the first attempt. Jackie Brown with an invalidation as well. Edwin also with an invalidation. And right now, is anyone pushing? Like, anyone? Guga ran out of fuel just now. I'm just making sure he gets back in the pits as soon as possible, not gets in anywhere, doesn't get in anyone's way. Phantom. Also, how was he already invalidated? Where would you invalidate before here? Turn 1, I guess, but incredible stuff from Phantom. Kuga with a purple first sector, 19.9. Let's double check. Kuga, 19.4. Okay, he's half a second off his teammate. Sean with a spin, coming out of turn 2. It's a very messy qualifying so far. Loads of invalidations, loads of mistakes. No one really putting... Oh well, not many people really getting laps in right now. 8 minutes in, 6 laps completed by Marco, Viral, Always, Pocho, Papdog and Kuga. And then 11 people in the lobby without laps, and Gabri still yet to actually get in. Kuko, though, near the end of this hot lap. One of the Ferraris over the line up ahead, but I think that would have been Phantom or Lanky, which both had validated laps. Okay. Sean has crashed out of the session at the third of those chicanes. We can go over with his teammate Pix. Sean parked up on the right hand side, just disappears there as Pix drives past him, and that means Sean is going to be starting from the back in this Canadian Grand Prix. He's got a lot of work to do now in that Grand Prix. 16 cars between himself and the race win that I imagine he will want to get, of course. Try again, invite Gabri. He's not messaged in a while, I hope he's gonna make it in. Would be a shame really if Gabri can't race now. And Bobolinho goes top, 109.482, just over a 10 faster than Google River. Championship leader Sully. Been on a bit of a rut in form recently. Had a very amazing start in the season. But as of recent, Gabri and PC really have been eating into that gap. Phantom goes 4 fastest, 10.306. Sully now getting into a little bit of traffic up ahead. But might actually get a bit of a tow as well down here. He's also lagging quite a bit, which is scary to see. That Alpine is not going to get out the way, that's beautiful. And Sully has his lap ruined by... I'm not sure if that's Kuka or Guga, but either way, that's definitely a penalty. Sully with an 11.735, the slowest in the lobby right now. PC Wooly up in third, his 2 championship rivals, one down in 13th, the other not even competing as it stands. Kuko with the apology in the chat, so I imagine that would have been him then. Any push laps right now? Not a single one, apparently. At least I can't find someone. Rival is starting one, there we go. He's currently in 10th. 10.956 for the German. A little loose coming out of turn 2. Braking about 75 meters here. Take as much from the curb on the first part as you can. You can cut that grass a little bit on the second part actually. Makes the corner just so much shorter. But it's risky, it can definitely send you into a spin. Viral opting to stay off it. Now of course DRS enabled, ERS used all the way down the straight. Braking just after the 100 meter board. 4th gear, 3rd gear. And I think Viral is abandoning the lap because yeah, he's going quite slowly now. So no improvement this time around from Viral. We've got Papdog currently in 6th, also on the lap now. Coming towards the end of sector 2. 10.487, his previous best. He's got about a 10th to Kuko ahead, a 10th to Pocho behind, a 2nd to Bobolinho on pole. Papdog with a 6, almost 7/10 gain in the middle sector, so a massive improvement coming in there from Papdog. That would put him, if he matches the previous sector 3, at a 9.8 between PC Wooly and Phantom. If he can gain a little bit more, a top 3 is definitely possible, definitely on the cards here. And that was a great Wall of Championship gain. And I'm almost confident to say Papdog is about to get into the top 3 here. Yes, he does. Third position for Pubdog, 109.619. Guga definitely getting impeded by his teammate there, Kugo. Bit too close coming out of that hairpin. I see the vision with the slipstream now, but I think it's cost him more than it gained him. We shall see. Guga, 109.589. He goes back to the pit lane. Wasn't improving then, clearly. Pocho was up by half a second in the middle sector. Now over the line. Could he be on for 109 here? Just about. No. 110, 123. That's P5. Picks with an invalidation at the first corner. And Edwin does the exact same thing. Flavors manages it. He's gotten further than those two already. He's got some traffic up ahead of him though. That's one of the V-Cabs. Might be Bazooka, who's on a lap himself. So not the ideal timing from Flavors there to start his lap so close to Bazooka. Definitely getting himself a little bit of dirty air, a little bit of time loss through those corners. Of the top runners, Bombardino is starting another lap. Our current pole sitter, 109.482 his previous best. He's a 10th up in that first sector. Flavors, 3.5 tenths up, despite the dirty of Bazooka, and he's very close behind him. But now he actually gets an advantage from it, of course, being so close down the straight and left from slipstream on the V-Cab man. And that should help him all the way down the straight to gain a little bit of time. So both Bazooka and Flavors getting through the World Championship chicane decently. Bazooka over the line, goes into 13, Flavors into 8th. Then we can put our focus on Bombardino, who's coming out of the hairpin, and he's gone to non-ES, he's abandoned the lap. Kisivoli, currently 4th fastest. In the middle sector, he is going to be up by just over 2 tenths. That could put him into 2nd place, maybe even 1st if he gains another 10 from this last one. But that was a little bit of a moment coming out of the hairpin. Down towards the World Championship chicane now. Not sure that much, not sure that really helps from that exit. But we'll see what he's got for us. He's still gonna finish the lap. A safe World Championship chicane, not really pushing it too much. And Piscivoli does go top! 109.431. And Piscivoli is on provisional pole. But Bombardino once again with half a tenth improvement in the first sector. Still 2 sectors to go. 4 minutes to go also. Gabri still not in. He's running out of time at this point, really. And it could be a nightmare for Gabri's championship hopes. As Bombardino is a 10th up. Gabri's in! Yes! Just in time! Gabri with the clutch. Well, Gabri's into that mainly. He's got enough time for 1 lap in this session. He's gonna have to pull a Phantom Fox, Lanky Brown type race here, 1 qualifying lap, and then work your way through the field. I imagine he won't be on pole or anything with just the 1 lap, but at least gonna get that 1 lap. Bombardino does go on pole, 109.268, beats the lap that Piscivoli put in, well, about 1 minute 10 seconds before. Lanky Brown with a massive moment of Ostia out of that hairpin, was already down his previous best, no improvement coming there. Edwin with an invalidation. Phantom, 3.5 tenths up in the first, 1.5 in the second only. He lost 2 tenths there. So he's still aiming to beat Potra, I would say, to that 5th position, a 10.123 to beat. Gabri is in the lobby. He's not taking control of the car yet, though. I'm not sure. There he is. Just as I say it. So yeah, he is gonna get exactly 1 chance here in qualifying. Got a yellow flag right now, so I can't see the timer, but I think, based on memory, it's about 3 minutes at this point. Well, yeah, we'll know once Edwin is in the pits with his lack of fuel, and I think his teammate actually, was also out of fuel. Yeah, both Mercedes. And I think that's the end of their qualifying. They will not have enough time, surely, to get out on track anymore. Lanky Viral on a lap right now. Lanky also, I think, on his way back to the pit lane. And Viral with an invalidation. He'll have to try again next lap. Pubdog with a purple first sector. Let's see the split time. If the game will show it to me. It won't. Beautiful. Ah, there we go, 53 thousandths. 2 minutes left to go in qualifying now. Sully down in 14th, Gabri down in 18th, Piscivoli up in 2nd. 1.5 tenths gained for Pubdog in the middle sector. That could put him ahead of Guga, could put him ahead of Piscivoli, but Bobbardino is quite far away. He already had a great last sector last time around. I'm not sure he can gain much more on that. Let's see what he's got for us though. Very late on the brakes. And all over those curbs, all over the track limits. Using as much as he possibly can. And he does go third fastest, 109.516, that's the Sauber driver. And now we've got Viral and Lanky. Viral once again with an invalidation, that could be enough his qualifying, he won't have enough fuel surely now. Yeah, 1.3, Viral is done. So Lanky Brown, oh, with a big mistake there. Has to correct the car so much. Sully now, on another lap as well. He needs a good lap here. 14th will just not be good enough for him. 11.7 right now, the slowest of anyone with a hot lap. The only ones behind him, Edwin, Pix, Sean and Gabri, all without a lap in the session. And Sully is abandoning this lap. He's not gonna finish it. He doesn't think he will improve much. Instead he wants to take his chances on the next one. I'm not sure, I think he's on AI right now. I'm not sure what's going on with him. He's got a Mercedes Edwin behind him. Let's look at the guys actually doing that now. Guga up by 2 tenths. Pocho down by 1.4, no improvement coming in there. Phantom just starting another lap. Viral now retiring from the session in the pit lane. Lanky went 9 fast in his one. Guga could be on his way to pole position if he gets a good lap here. That was very late on the brakes, but gets a stop. Beautiful stuff. But unfortunately, just a little bit too much curb on that second part. It would have been a 9.172. It would have been enough for pole, but he invalidated. Bobbardino didn't get around in time for another lap. Piscivoli, the last one of the front runners, I think, now on a lap, unless someone can surprise us. It's him or Bobbardino for pole here. Kuko's up massively though. 8 tenths gain for Kuko. Could he be able to steal the pole position away from Bobbardino right into death? 10.373 is previous best. Bobbardino 1.9268. So 9 tenths separating them. Kuko needs another 10th in this last sector. Has he got that in him? Oh, Kuko! And that's gonna be such a big shame for him. He invalidates the last corner with such a massive improvement. 9.720 would have put him into the top 5. Gabri with one hell of a lap right in the end. With so much pressure on him, he delivers to get P5. Not as high up as you usually expect him. Gabri puts very high standards on himself, especially for the qualifying. PC already gets pole crucially. Sully at the moment down in 16th, but Gabri with that 5th place can be quite happy considering he only had the 1 lap right at the end. Sully jumps into 7th place, also not as far up as he would have wanted to be, but considering the circumstances so far down, and of course with the injury, I'm not sure how much that's affecting him. For sure he won't have practiced as much as he would have usually done, I would imagine. P7 is good damage limitation, but Piscivoli, he is taking this opportunity to the fullest. Gabri and Sully, his championship rivals, not at full strength in this session. And he claims pole position with a 109.192, 70 thousandths roughly out of Bobbardino in 2nd place, but another strong qualifying from Bobbardino. Hopefully this time around he can convert that into a race result as well. No last lap drama for him, I hope. I don't want to put a commentator's curse on that, so I'll shut up about it. Pubdog rounds on the top 3, and then Guga behind that in 4th place. Then a little bit of a gap to Gabri, Phantom Fox in 6th, then Sully and Pocho making an all-Italian 5th row? 4th row? 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4th row, my god. Pix and Edwin rounding the top 10 with the exact same lap time, both on a 10.174. Then Marco in P11, Kuko down in 12th with that invalidation right at the end. Flavors 13th, Bazooka 14th, Lanky 15th, OY 16th, Rival 17th, and Sean without a lap time down in 18th and last position. But we know rain is going to be coming down for that race start, so there is plenty of opportunities, I would say, to make up some positions with a bit of chaos on the opening laps. And yeah, there indeed we have got a good amount of rain. nowhere near full wets, of course, so we are going to be seeing inters. Of course, we know it's going to get dry, so definitely don't always starting on full wets, even if this is enough for full wets, which it isn't. You know there's a pit stop to inters coming fairly soon. And a full wet in this game, of course, is pretty useless anyway. As I think we all know by now. Which is kind of realistic, actually. Strategy-wise, well, it really depends on the rain now. I'd expect normally a fairly simple medium to hard around here, but with the rain, could be anything. Inter to hard, inter to medium. That's it, honestly. But safety cars, of course, can play a role, so we'll just have to wait and see. Formation lap, of course. And it will be everyone on intermediates, yeah. No surprises there. The softest tires available within the tire allocation, though, the C6, C5 and C4. Time penalties will play a crucial role in this Grand Prix as well. We saw how many invalidations there were in the qualifiers already. So if you can stay penalty free, that's already a very, very important and a very good first step into a great result, I would say, today. That could be the key. Of course, the strategy, if it stays into the whole way, will be a one-stop. The intermediates in this game don't wear out much at all, so there is no reason to even go for that two-stop the game is suggesting. It's definitely much slower. So yeah, drivers lining up. Peaceably on the left-hand side, we'll have the inside for the first corner. Bobbardino on his right for the outside. Pubdog behind that. Championship contenders, Garbri and Sully in 5th and 7th. All three championship contenders on the inside on turn 1 though. And there we have it. Everyone's lined up. The 4 red lights, 5 red lights now, are on and they're off. And it's lights out, and away we go here in Canada. And that looked a decent getaway for Peaceably. Bobbardino still gonna look around us outside. Into turn 1 brakes super late there. But he has got the traction after all. Now to the inside for the second corner, but Peaceably we have the better traction on that outside line. Bobbardino gets a bit loose also on the traction. And that means Peaceably pulls ahead and keeps the lead in behind. Pubdog holds on the 3rd place. That's Phantom Fox going deep into the grass now. Garbri has to try and get around him, hopefully there. Yellow flags in behind for Pigs, who was in a decent position, unfortunately now down at the back. Garbri and Phantom Fox, sorry, battling over 5th, and Phantom Fox keeps his nose in there, bit of wheel banging. Garbri on the outside line gets a bit of slipstream up ahead from Kuga, but he's already a second gone. Phantom has to back out of that one. He doesn't have the straight line speed to stay alongside. Sully lurking in behind. Didn't quite find a way to get involved in that duel on this first lap of this Grand Prix. We've got Rival already of the Great Start up to 13th. Now at the back of Lanky Brown, starting in 17th. Sean also up a couple of places already, starting in 18th, now 15th. Pigs rejoined the race right in the back of the pack, so he's not way off or anything like that. Peaceably though, already a full second gone of everybody else. The top 8 staying completely the same. And Peaceably with one hell of a start here. Bobbardino struggling a little bit, it seems. Pubdog very close behind. Peaceably very far away. And look at the squabbling in behind. Oh, there's a crash! That's VCAP of Bazooka, and I think Sean, yes! Sean and Bazooka with a crash, and we've got a virtual safety car out on track for the debris, I assume, from that collision. And Sean's entire front wing is gone. A bit Button Hamilton 2011-esque that looked like. I'm not sure who's to blame, I didn't see it well enough for that. But the two of them coming together on the main straight and slamming into the pit wall. And that's both Sean and Bazooka with massive damage. Gonna have to make a pit stop this lap. And their race comes undone very, very early on. Not what you want to be seeing, really, for those two. Oh, we don't need a tyre graphic right now, everyone's on the same tyre. We can keep that off until the pit stop. Race neutralized, everybody can recharge the ERS. And then have a second try at this race start. Maybe this time Bobbardino can save with Peaceably. And Papdog gets a drive-through penalty. There's loads of drive-through penalties. I think Bobadinho, Papdog and Guga. Yes! Drive-through penalties for Bobadinho, Guga and Papdog. And there's Phantom off in the grass. Gabri goes through. Gabri is now in essentially second place in this Grand Prix because all three cars ahead of him, apart from Pisivoli, have got to serve a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC, and there they all go, diving into the pit lane. Bobadinho, I think, still staying out one more lap. As Sully... Oh, sorry, Pocho's attacking Phantom Fox. Sully already got past when he was in the grass, I think. Pocho looks on the inside of turn 1, but is not quite far enough alongside. Backs out of that one. Chooses to play it safe. Marco and Kuko going at it. Those two have quite a bit of history in Division 2. This time it's Kuko that comes out on top, is it? He has a lot of oversteer. Marco can't get back alongside, though. And has to settle in behind for now. But knowing Marco, he will not want to settle in behind for long. Kuko has to try and make a move on Edwin. Edwin at the moment up in 7th. Looking... Oh, Kuko so late on the brakes. Gets the car stopped on the apex. And gets ahead. What a move by Kuko. Edwin caught napping a little bit there, it looked like. Kuko so much more confident in the car. And got it slowed down just in time. Of course, Bazooka now all the way to back. Sean, did he pit? What are you doing, Sean? You literally have no front wing. Why are you not pitting? And of course, he's gonna get passed by everyone here. It's really weird from Sean to keep going, honestly. He's causing a lot of chaos there as well with all of those cars bunched in behind him. And now Guga gets past and there goes Papdog as well. And yeah, Sean, I'm not quite sure what you're cooking up there. Did he miss the pit entry maybe? Maybe he couldn't get in because the pit entry is a bit stupid. Now Bobadinho dives in and he gets a 10-second penalty for speeding. While serving the drive-through penalty, gets himself another penalty. And that really is icing on the cake for Bobadinho. That he really did not need. Dropping him out of the points with a 10-second penalty over his head. At least he didn't get stuck behind Sean, unlike the other guys in drive-throughs, Guga and Papdog. And he has come out ahead of them, significantly ahead of them by multiple seconds. That was a good strategy call to go a lap longer. He's just ruined it for himself with that penalty, unfortunately. Chasing after Lanky Brown for P10 though, some points definitely still on for him. And Phantom Fox all over Marcus Sully. We know Phantom Fox a very strong rain driver. Sully though also definitely very fast in the rain. We've seen it early in the season quite a bit, but he makes a mistake there. Phantom looking for the switchback but gets blocked mid-corner. As he sort of runs in the back of Sully. Of course Sully can't make himself disappear, all good there. Phantom Fox though looks for the inside into the hairpin, late on the brakes. And gets the car stopped at the apex, beautifully rotated as well, and ahead of Sully now. Phantom Fox reclaims 3rd position in this race. It's the same top 3 from Brazil, when it was raining as well. Pisivoli, Gabri, Phantom Fox. All this, Sully can do something about it. He's staying close to Phantom, but I think he's too far back for now. With a good exit out of that chicane though. It's definitely doable. But that isn't what he needs, that's too far away for sure. Marco on the back of Edwin. Kuko has already cleared him and gotten far away now. Marco still stuck behind the Mercedes driver. Pigs in the pits. On the 5th lap of the Grand Prix, can only be for a wing change surely. He didn't have a drive-through, he didn't have any other reason to pit into the tire wear, and yeah, that is a wing change. And a disaster race for Williams so far. Both of them getting involved in early incidents, both of them having to make a pit stop for a wing change, and they are now in last and second last. The only driver down here with them, of course, is Bazooka, who had the crash with Sean. 21 seconds to Papdog in 15th position. These three really could use a safety car. Marco has gotten past Edwin, has he? Oh, Edwin is still alongside there as he comes back on the track. Went off at that chicane. Viral looking to get involved. Might be 3 wide into the hairpin, is it? Marco pulled ahead and now Edwin boxed in behind Marco. Viral so late on the brakes. On the inside, so much pushing and banging. Viral has front wing damage on the front right end plate. Edwin pulls back ahead, has a better exit, but now Viral in the slipstream. Lanky Brown looking to get involved. 3 wide down this back straight. And there's contact. Oh, Viral! What a save there as he made contact with Lanky Brown at 300 something kph, it looked like. The car getting very, very loose. And just about, Viral kept it out of the barrier. Lanky Brown also with damage on the front right end plate. Both Lanky and Viral picking up damage at some point there. Not sure if that was in that duel. or earlier. I didn't see winglets flying, so it might have already been earlier at some point. But either way, they're gonna have a tougher time keeping pace. Still though, Marco, and then Lanky got past Edwin. Viral couldn't find a way around him. Sean now with a 3-second time penalty, adding insult to injury for his race. Really not going well for him at all. Bazooka has been passed by both the Williams cars as well. Pop Dog and Google River trying to come back from those drive-thru penalties. Now on the back of Owise and Flavors. Beseemly getting further and further away. 4 seconds gap between himself and Gabri, as Gabri's under attack from Phantom Fox. And there is a bit of lag going on for Gabri as he's teleporting back and forth. Rain getting less and less intense. As Viral is getting past Edwin, is he? No, he went deep. Edwin went back up the inside and Bobardino might slip through as well. Bobardino, of course, also recovering from the drive-thru penalty. Trying to make his way back into the points here. And they are side by side down the back straight, heading into the wall of championship again. Bobardino's the inside line should give him the advantage, but Viral has the slipstream from Bobardino's team and Edwin up ahead. Bobardino, though, able to brake much later. The car sliding from the corner. Viral with the switchback. Back alongside in the exit. Now he has the inside line. Bobardino concedes the position. Viral holds on the 10th for the moment. Bobardino looks up the inside, but he's never going to get alongside there without completely dive-bombing Viral. So that's not going to work. Phantom has gotten past Gabri there. Has he? He hasn't. What? Okay. Never mind. Phantom has not gotten past Gabri. But he's all over the back of the Phantom with great pace in this wet stint. But bad news for Phantom, it stopped raining. We won't be on these inters for much longer, I imagine then. Track looks pretty wet though, so maybe 2 or 3 more laps. It depends how quickly it dries out. Gabri though is, well, I'm not sure if he's going defensive or if he's trying to drive through the paddle's coolest tires. But either way, he's definitely feeling the pressure from Phantom, I would say. And yeah, the track is drying fairly quickly, it looks like, honestly. Overly not drier than 30 seconds ago. I don't think we'll be seeing people pit this lap, but we're not a million miles away from it, I think. And now Phantom with a good exit. Has got a run on Gabri. Gabri covering the outside. Phantom up the inside. Is he going to be able to brake late enough? No. Gets in the wet line, of course, as well, and that means Gabri has much more traction through the braking zone. Viral picks up a penalty there, as he's looking to get past Edwin himself, also being overtaken by Bobardino. Bobardino on the inside line, into turn 1, brakes later, and Viral has to back out. Can't stay alongside into turn 2, looks back around the outside, maybe? Nah. Switchback, something, anything? Yeah, I mean, he was sort of alongside, but if you're gonna send that, also you're crashing, so... Smart move there. Guga with a bit of a mistake there. Goes off into the gravel, or grass, sorry. And rejoins behind Pop Dog. And now Phantom has gotten... No. Again. I think Gabri might be teleporting behind him and then back in front of him, which is a bit annoying. I hope it's not on my end, because I'm both hosting and streaming. But it's only certain drivers. So I think it might be a driver's end issue. Yeah, I mean, if it was on my end, the entire lobby would be lagging, but I'm sure it isn't helping that I'm streaming and hosting, so it really would be good if we had a driver who can host next week. Or from next week onwards, really. Someone to take over hosting duties from Marcelio full-time. Phantom, burning ERS, closing in, closing in. He can't commit to the air brakes. Gabri actually left him the space. Phantom is sort of known at this point for those late moves on the brakes, especially in these wet conditions. He really likes doing them. Not like admitting it, but he did pull one of those on me as well in Division 1 in Brazil, where he had outstanding pace, honestly. Was easily on the pace with some of the Division 1 frontrunners. But right now he is biting his teeth out with Gabri here. Sully and Pocho following from a safe distance behind, same for Kuko. Those three right now just putting in the lap time, staying close. If they get the transition to the dry conditions right, the timing of the pit stop right, they can definitely get involved in that battle for P2. PC really at this point is so far gone. 6.5 seconds, it's not even funny. Nine laps in. And Piscivoli only getting away more and more, it looks like. But are we gonna see people start to pit for dries? I mean, it looks pretty dry, I'm not sure. The drivers always know more, they have an actual weather report. Jeff will tell them when it's time for dries. Or when it's, when it is the transition period. But so far, the entire top 8 staying out. We've got Edwin and Bobodinho also going past. Papdog got past Owais, and Owais now on attack from Guga as well. Guga with the switchback coming off the World Championship lane, up into 14th. Crucial for these guys to get through this train. It is the battle for points. And Sean Moore in the pit lane. He has also spent in the pit lane, gave himself a 10-second penalty. But I think he's trying to gamble here. Because he is so far behind everybody else, he has nothing to lose. And that's a set of the hard tyres for Sean, which will hopefully bring him to the end of the Grand Prix. And this lap around, is it time for the dries? We will see. Phantom still looking for a way past Gabri, but still nothing doing for him. He's a little bit too far back this time around, I would say. Piscivoli, of course, he has the pressure of being the first one who has to make the decision. Everybody else can sort of follow him. He didn't go in this lap. Neither did Gabri or Phantom. Sully also still staying out. Piscivoli fast lap to Grand Prix. Pocho out, Kuku out. Marco staying out. Lanky looks like he's staying out as well. Broke quite early, yeah. As Guga has gotten past Papdog there for 13th position. And also none of these guys battling over the couple of points that deal with the top 10 pitting either. Gap from Sean to Bazooka though, staying sort of similar-ish. Slight advantage to Sean maybe. Now Bazooka is gaining. Tough to say, but Sean doesn't look like he's struggling too much right now, so yeah, Sean might have gotten the pit stop window right there, and Bazooka, of course he can see it on top left that Sean is sort of keeping the gap to him. And Diaz hasn't enabled. That's usually the indication that it's time for the dries. So I think we are going to be seeing almost everyone dive in the pits this lap. It is a problem for the likes of Bobodinho, Owais, maybe Lanky. With a double stack, they are quite close to their teammates. Viral picking up a penalty now, and Piscivoli staying out another lap. Gabri pulled away from Phantom quite a bit this lap. And Gabri's in the pits. So is Phantom. Sully staying out another lap. Pocho is in. Kuku is in. Oh, Kuku! Justin Mock got stopped. Marco's in. Lanky's in. He will speed. Yep. Edwin is in. And he will also speed. No, he's fine. Bobrinho's in. So double second Mercedes. Viral is in. Flavor staying out. Guga is in. Papdog is in. Always staying out. Not double stacking with Papdog. Pix. Let's see. He's the last one now to come into the pit lane. Two behind him already went. And he is also going to pit. And I think he might speed here. No, he's fine. Just about. So, Gabri, the first one on the dries now. 12 seconds to Sully. He should come on ahead of him quite easily, of course. He was already ahead of him earlier, and the dries will be faster. I don't think he can jump Piscivoli. That guy was a little bit too big. He won't gain 6 seconds in one lap, but he certainly will get closer as Kuku gets past Flavors for 6th. But I would say there is a chance of an undercut. Pocho was only about 2 seconds behind Sully. So if he can gain that time on him now, he could come out ahead of him. Of course, Piscivoli had the luxury of being so far ahead that he can, sort of afford being undercut by one lap and lose a couple seconds and still be in P1. And a wing change? Yes, a wing change for Piscivoli! And that could mean Gabri could take the lead here. Piscivoli picked up wing damage at some point, entirely on his own, and that means, yes, Gabri will be in the lead of this Grand Prix. Fast lap the Grand Prix as well to add on top of it. Phantom Fox takes P2, Piscivoli comes out in 3rd place. And there's Pocho as well, he has jumped Sully, has he? I think so. Of course he cut the first corner with the pit exit, but yeah, Sully is still behind him. We have a new race leader. Gabri has jumped Piscivoli in the pit faces, pitting a lap earlier. The dries already the better tire for that. And then PC also having to change the wing in the pit lane. He drops from first to third behind both Gabri and Phantom. Pocho jumped solely in the pit lane as well. 1 lap undercut. Got himself from 5th to 4th. Apart from that, I think it mostly stayed the same. At least up at the front. Pubdog and Bobbardinho both opting for the mediums. A 22 lap medium stint definitely sounds like a stretch. The hards surely are going to the end, otherwise he wouldn't be putting for hards, I imagine. But Pubdog and Bobbardinho might be aiming for a 2-stop from here to the end. Of course, it's a fairly short pit lane, so there's hope for it. The top 3 now in the DRS train. PC really already putting pressure on Phantom. And Phantom himself will look to put pressure on Gabri as well. Now that the DRS is enabled, which he actually hasn't got on Gabri for some reason, he might have an easier time trying to make a move than he did in the wet conditions. Of course, fast laps now coming in from loads of people. Track drying out. Pocho the fast lap there, and I imagine he'll be beaten by someone fairly quickly as the track gets drier and drier. The lap times start dropping more and more. And Rao with another time penalty. What is he up to? 9? Yeah, 9. And there we go, Bobbardinho, another time penalty. No, the next driver with a time penalty, I should say. Up to 3 seconds now. His first time penalty in this Grand Prix. Oh, PC Woody, a little bit deep there. And that's cost him a chance maybe for a move into the hairpin. Shaw and Kluko with time penalty come in so quickly. Now, in the wet, it was fairly quiet. I think everyone was sort of being careful anyway. Now that we're in the dry period, people are starting to push more and more. They are more confident in the car. But they are risking more of track limits. And PC Woody has got a run on Phantom Fox. Has he? No, he didn't. Walked out of it there as Phantom himself. I had a terrible camera angle, I couldn't see what happened, but based on the gap I think Phantom himself went for a move from Gabri, and they both backed out and they moved simultaneously. But Phantom, once again, he had to look up the inside then at turn 1, but it's a little bit too risky right now. With so many laps to go, you don't need to force it at this point, you have so much time. But PC already has found an opening there. Phantom Fox caught napping. PC really gets alongside, but that corner just not quite wide enough to go too wide, and PC really is the one who backs out. Pocho is closing in on these guys though. A top 4. Definitely following. Pocho getting closer and closer with that battling up ahead. Of course they will gain on him on the DRS on Spiral. Another time penalty. He only got 1 last lap. How can he get 3 warnings in 1 lap? Unbelievable stuff. Oh, Phantom! All over the place there. Now he has invited PC Woody in to have a look up the inside into that hairpin. And he won't have DRS on Gabri either. And PC Woody takes P2, and he will have DRS as well if the detection point is where it says it is. They both have DRS, never mind. But yeah, PC Woody took his opportunity there. Phantom makes 1 mistake, and immediately PC Woody slips through. Pocho though, he has joined this group. He's in the DRS train now. Oh, he didn't get within a second the detection point, but I think by next lap he'll have DRS. PC Woody already with the run, already the move on Gabri. 2 in 1 basically. PC Woody already going for the next one. Now to the outside of turn 2, but he goes very deep and Gabri pulls back ahead. But PC Woody now with a great exit took so much momentum from that wide line. And he has taken the lead of the race back after that wing change. What a move by PC Woody to go so far on the outside through turn 2. And found so much grip out there on such a green track, which is very surprising. But he absolutely rocketed past Gabri on the exit. And now Gabri has to put his foot down to try and stay in DRS range. To keep this race alive. Don't let PC Woody run away with it again, like he did in the opening phase while it was still raining. And we have got a firm top 4 form. DRS Pocho is very much within the battle now. Luca getting past Edwin for 8th. So far his comeback from the drive-through penalty going the best. Pubdog in 11th, Bobbardinho in 14th. And there's a wing that's flown off Pix's car. Even more damage for Williams to fix as he's missing the entirety of the left-sided end plates on his front wing. Sully also closing in on that top 4 group now. He's 1.3 back from Pocho. We might see a battle between the top 5 soon. But PC Woody, he's put the hammer down. He got Gabri out of DRS range already, just about. Yeah, Gabri has held on just about. But he has got significantly less EIS. Piscivoli showing great pace right now, great race pace to keep Gabri well away from him. I think Gabri should focus on hanging on to DRS rather than actually having much of a chance to battle him. And Phantom Fox himself barely holding on to DRS of Gabri. Sully though, he has gotten within DRS range of Pocho, I believe. So it is now a top 5 train. Yes, everybody in DRS to each other, but for how much longer? I mean, Gabri has got literally no battery left. Look at that, 6% as we go over this back straight. I think eventually Piscivoli will break that 1 second barrier, and then he will only keep driving away. Further down the field, Edwin is staying with Guga. Can you come back at him down towards turn 1 maybe? Now that exit nodded so much understeer through the chicane. Doesn't have damage though. I thought he might actually have damage because that looked horrific from the turn in. Just wasn't doing anything. Pop Dog on those mediums gets past Lanky Brown for 10th position. But I do think he has another pit stop to make. So he needs to gain a lot of time to make that strategy work. Gabri once again barely kept DRS. He was over a second back at some point on that straight, but he was within the second detection point. Has he gotten it this time around? I don't think he did. I think this might be the end of Gabri's time in Piscivoli's DRS. And yes, it is. No DRS for Gabri. Piscivoli has broken out of the 1 second range and away from the rest of the field. And now they have to try and do something to get back to him. Pick up the pace a little. Pocho, from 4th position in this race, picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Has made his fight for this podium a lot more difficult. And still the battle raging for the 8th position here as well, Guga and Edwin. Keep an eye on those two. Apart from that, there's no big battles happening on track. We've got Raul and Sean in 15th and 16th there. And Sean, with the DRS, will drive past him on the straight. Not much Raul can do there. He could try and come back at him later. Next lap, yeah. And Gabri, oh, now that gap is opening up so much. Now that PCV has got the 1 second range, he's at 2.5 all of a sudden. Gained another second this lap. Incredible stuff from Piscivoli. And Gabri now has to focus behind. Won't have DRS to help him defend from Phantom, and that slide certainly didn't help. I think Phantom has a chance to take P2 in this race right now. And he is going to burn some ES. DRS enabled. And Phantom, on the outside line, has gotten ahead under braking and into second place. But he picks up a time penalty in the process. Now both Phantom and Pocho in this battle for the podium with 3 seconds added to their final race time. Made it a lot more difficult for himself. Pocho! What a send on Gabri there on the inside of turn 1. I'm sure Gabri won't have liked that too much, but he left him the space. A bit of self-preservation there maybe. I think Pocho, a little bit too late I would say. We've seen some late moves this race, and I would say that was the most questionable one so far. And it's also risking Gabri's chance of staying in DRS to Phantom. He held on just about this time around. But now he's in a similar spot to where he was with PC, but he's too far back from Beetle Slipstream. He's not got a lot of EIS. If Phantom can put a good pace in the tarmac for 1 or 2 laps, and Rival retiring in the pit lane, I believe. Yeah, his car's moving through the pit lane, so yeah, that's a retirement in the pit. So, no safety car coming there. 15 laps to go now. And it looks like Piscivoli is on his way to another race win. He is in unbelievable form right now. Very similar to how Sully was early in the season. Sully looking for a move on Pocho. As Guga and Marco also in the duel for 7th there. Guga gets past him with the DRS. He was battling Edwin not too long ago, so he's made some very big steps there, but now the Alpines, I think, they've not got much more to hope for in this race in 6th and 7th. Kuko pretty much on no man's land, 3 seconds ahead to Sully, and if anything, he's not really gaining. I don't think he's gaining really. Oh, Gabri with a mistake there. And that might cost him DRS to Phantom, I think it has. And now he's under pressure from Pocho. Yep, Gabri won't have DRS on Phantom ahead, and Pocho is surely going to try and take advantage of that and take P3 in this race, maybe get into DRS range of Phantom himself. Here we go, onto the max straight. This is now a crucial moment in this Grand Prix. Can Pocho take P2? And a crash behind! That's Guga! Guga the spin, he was doing so well to come back from that driving penalty, now drops to 10th place as Pocho has gotten past Gabri. Pocho up in the 3rd place. And of course with DRS as well, there's one detection point before the hairpin for both this straight, for both DRS straight I should say. And Pocho within a second of Phantom for now. Can he hold on to it though? Would be a crucial thing for him. The two penalty carrying drivers here in the top 5 also. Now leading this train of Phantom, Pocho, Gabri and Sully. But Pocho didn't get DRS on this straight. Maybe the next one. If he puts the hammer down, if he can get that within the 1 second, he'll have a much easier time of staying ahead and maybe breaking that 1 second barrier to Gabri himself to try and get that 3 second lead he needs to keep this P3. And yellow flags for Owais. He had a spin there coming out of turn 2. Gets the car going again, but he has dropped down to P14. Guga coming out of the pits after a wing change, side by side or just ahead of Bazooka there in 15th position. Pocho didn't get the DRS, but look at Sully. He's putting lots and lots of pressure on Gabri for 4th place. 2 championship rivals, a crucial battle in this race. Sully though with a big slide coming off the World Championship chicane, and that's going to cost him his chance to make the move into turn 1. At least this lap, but he has got plenty left to go. Pocho with another penalty now, up to 6 seconds, and that will not help his chances much at all. If anything, he has to watch out for Kuko now. Phantom now doing exactly what he needs to. He's broken the DRS to these guys behind, now he needs to build a gap. Pop Dog in the pits. Of course, we knew his tires weren't gonna last. So we knew a pit was coming there eventually. Lanky is also in. But surely the hards could last. But Lanky's pitting for a wing change. And I think he's serving a 10-second penalty also. Yeah, he had a speeding penalty. And a fresh lot of hards for the Ferrari man, and this will drop him all the way into last position this Grand Prix. So points from here, gonna be a tough goal for Lanky Brown. Gabri has closed very much to the back of Pocho now. As Kuko gets himself a 2nd time penalty in this race, that is good news for Pocho. It means he doesn't have to worry about him after all. They both have 6 seconds at this point. But Gabri, I think, needs to try and get around Pocho because Phantom is building a gap, and that is valuable points, that P2. He needs those points. Of course, he wouldn't gain much against Sully there, because Sully would also probably jump. I mean, if Gabri gets Phantom, odds are Sully also does. With how close Sully is behind Gabri. So that wouldn't make much of a difference. They would both, well, Gabri would gain 3 points beating Phantom, Sully would gain 2 points from 5th to 4th or 4th to 3rd. It's a difference from 12 to 13, 4th to 3rd for Gabri, and then 10 to 12 for Sully, 5th to 4th. So yeah, that would be 1 point gain for Gabri over Sully, but also just outright 3 points less lost to Phantom, not to Phantom, to PC really, who's on his way to the race win. And yeah, Gabri now makes the move on Pocho, a crucial move, as he needs to stay within 3 seconds of Phantom ahead. 1.8 the gap right now. And Sully needs to try and follow through as well. Get past Pocho, stay with Gabri. Maybe go for the move himself to get that 2nd place in this Grand Prix. Would be crucial points for him. He needs to be back on the podium at some point, surely. And this is a good chance for him. He's running in 5th, 2 cars ahead of penalties. That could be a P3 finish. Maybe even a P2 if he gets past Gabri. Kuko, with a great job to close in. A couple laps ago I said he's in no man's land and not really got much hope of more than the P6. And he's proven me wrong. All of a sudden he's right here. Of course he has got 6 seconds of penalties hanging over his head, which means he's essentially battling Pocho and nobody else here. Those two both on 6 seconds. So yeah, Phantom trying to break 3 seconds to everyone behind. Gabri and Sully racing each other, and then Pocho and Kuko racing each other. As Marco picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. That one hurt him in the battle for 7th with Edwin. Which could be Edwin's best result of the season, which is crazy to say. Our reigning champion. Sully in the pits! What? Can the heart not go that long? Was I wrong? I thought it could easily last that long. There's no wing change, it's a tactical pit stop by Sully. Oh, my god. My head is so gone. I still have Sully in my head as VCAP from like last season, 2 seasons ago. That's Pocho. Pocho in for the mediums. But still, one of the leading group with a late pit stop. Because it could be a strategical gamble in case of Pocho. He had a penalty hanging over his head, but Marco's also in. Multiple people now. Sully with a 3-second time penalty, and that's great news for Gabri. Marco comes out the pit lane in 9th position, just behind Pupdog. Between Pupdog and Guga there. All 3 of these guys now on fresh tires. And they've got clean air. Well, they've got each other, but cleaner air, faster traffic than everybody else. People are not responding. Sully's responding to the undercut of Pocho, and that lost him so much time. As he completely lost the car under braking. Change onto the mediums. So yeah, Sully also thinks he can't get to the end. And I'm fairly certain he will get jumped by Pocho here. Well, he's already behind Pocho, but he will be well behind Pocho there. Both with the 1-lap undercut. Yeah, Pocho already passed turn 2 as Sully's coming at the pit lane. And the fact that Sully made a massive mistake in that pit entry. And he is absolutely miles back from Pocho. 4 seconds. Has Pocho pulled a masterclass there with that undercut? I was convinced the tire could make the end. 8 laps to go. I mean, unless you have to pit, you definitely don't want to, but maybe you have to. Is the tire that bad? I don't know. The drivers will know. Bazooka and Pix also locked in the battle of 15th there. Good to see that even outside the points, there's still stuff going on. These guys haven't given up. Sean also with, well, he's had an absolute shit show of a race, and all of somehow he's still running 11th and has a chance of point really. Phantom is in. He also is not going to make the end on those tires. And he also has been undercut by Pocho. Pocho up into 4th position. Phantom out of the pit lane. I think he'll be ahead of Sully. Yeah, well, he's momentarily behind, but now he gets to cut the first corner. And gets out ahead. Pupdog with a time penalty as he is battling with Guga through the wall of Champion Chicane. Comes out ahead, does Pupdog. We've got a yellow flag in behind for Always, I think, was on a crash. He's going quite slowly there. Gets past by Bobolinho. So both Saubers with a moment, I will call it, at the wall of Champion Chicane. I'm not sure what happened to Pupdog. He was in the battle and got a penalty, so odds are he had contact with someone and got pushed off, maybe? I have no clue. I'm just speculating. And then Always spin, I don't know, half spin, something like that, and Phantom just got himself a 3rd warning, sorry, 6th warning, and a 6-second time penalty with that. Or a 3-second penalty. The top 3, Pisibuli, Gabri, Kuko, all still staying out. And with us now coming into the last handful of laps in this Grand Prix, you would think they're going to the end. And another spin for Always. This time he's lost his entire front wing there. As Sully puts in the fast lap of the Grand Prix. The 2 stoppers, of course, absolutely flying. Always back on the way. But his race, his hunt for some points here pretty much over, as he is about to drop down to last place with that pit stop, and he might even end up a lap down. Three seconds to Kuka River as well now. So many time penalties in the midfield. At this point we have got 5 drivers left without penalties. Pisivoli, Gabri, Edwin, Flavors and Pix. And yellow flags for Wise retiring in the pits, but I think also Sean had a spin at turn 2. Yes. 2 simultaneous yellow flags there. Sean, not sure if he spun on his own or if he was locked in the battle and made contact with another car. Either way though, his hopes of points, I think, down the drain with that. Has loads of penalties hanging over his head as well, and that wasn't helping. Also seems to really be struggling with the rear tires now, probably overheating a bit from that spin. On Kuko, he's being so careful. Oh, look at the tire is gone. The tire is gone. And the same goes for Sean. He's had another spin. They've absolutely cooked those rear tires, it seems. Pocho, Phantom and Sully are gaining at a rate of knots. I mean, and Kuko is keeping pace with Gabri, so we saw Kuko struggling so much in those low-speed traction zones. We're keeping an eye on Gabri as well now, but I imagine if he's keeping pace with Kuko, he'll be struggling a similar amount. Even Pisivoli also probably struggling quite a bit. I mean, he's not gaining much. And yeah, Gabri also having to lift the throttle momentarily. The tire wear is definitely a massive problem for these guys right now. So can the two stoppers catch back up to them? Oh, Porsche with an aggressive defend against Phantom Fox there. Kuka with another time penalty now as well over his head. And that won't help his hopes of getting that podium to the end of the race. Phantom Fox. No chance against Pocho there. Kuka battling with Marco for 8th. And Marco moves over very late. Kuka gets out ahead. Marco with a massive slide and gets switched back by Pup Dog as well. Great move by Pup Dog. Great awareness to see Marco up ahead. All over the place, set up a switchback and get past him. 4 laps to go. 3 seconds between Kuka and Pocho, and gap dropping quickly. I mean, if we have a look at the lap times, Kuka is lapping 16.4, 15.4, okay, 15s, yeah, let's say mid-15s. And Pocho is lapping, okay, he lapped a lot slower at lap 14, but before it was 13, so why are these people so, like, inconsistent in lap times? That was such a useless, yeah, way to check, because they are so incredibly far apart from lap to lap for some reason. And Phantom has gotten past Pocho, but he did pick up another time penalty in the process. Now up to 9 seconds, Pocho 6, Sully 3. Kuka also 9 seconds. And that is going to really affect this battle for the podium spots, as these two different strategies are converging right at the end. Good news for Gabri is he has got Kuko separating himself from those two stoppers, and he is also the only one in this entire battle from P2 to P6 with no penalties. Marco has crashed! Oh, tire in the pit lane? Retired in the pit lane, I think. Yeah. Why? He was on for points. And Sean, another spin, and he's about to be lapped by all of his, well, former rivals, you must say, at this point. He had a great start in the season with the win in Australia, but that's it. Sean with, well, he had some good races, let's not be too harsh. But today, an absolute disaster for Sean. And now Phantom with the run on Kuko. But Kuko squeezing him all the way to the grass. Good defense from Kuko. Now look at the tire difference on the exit. Phantom just completely drives past him. Nothing Kuko can do there. He's going to try and hold around the outside with no Kuko. But surely that can't work. Yeah, look, there's just no traction, no grip on those tires left. And Phantom, I imagine, will dispatch off Gabri fairly quickly as well. There we go. And Gabri has got nothing to do against that. The good news for him is 9 seconds of penalties for Phantom. Unless Phantom actually catches PC Woody, which in 2.5 laps is not happening. That P2 is still Gabri's. Potro has 6 seconds, so he also is unlikely to get that gap within 2 laps, but it's more possible. I think Sully is the main one Gabri needs to worry about, both in terms of actually the position mattering a lot more, since Sully might actually get that gap that he needs, and of course Sully is his championship rival. Yellow flags. That's Sean again. Oh my god, it's getting embarrassing now. It's been embarrassing for like 10 laps already, but it's getting worse. I think Gabri might lose 2 spots at once here, because both Potro and Sully are very close in behind. There goes Potro, and there comes Sully. And Gabri has got nothing he can do against that. Those tires are gone. He needs to try and keep within 3 seconds of Sully now. That's his main objective, surely. He has a hope of a P2 still, because all of those guys ahead have penalties. I said at the start of the Grand Prix, the most important thing in this Grand Prix will be to stay penalty free. So far, Gabri has done that, and he only needs to keep doing that for another 1.5 laps. But can he stay within 3 seconds of Sully? The tyre difference is so vast. 15 laps difference, mediums to hards. And you can tell those hards are absolutely gone. He also has to keep an eye on Kuko behind. He's already 1.5 against Sully. The good news for him is, I think Sully... well, he's stuck behind Potro a little bit here. Van Fox also absolutely flying out there. He's 3 seconds clear of Potro. He might actually get him with the 3 seconds more penalty that he has still. At this point I think the finishing order could be... well, PC P1 is the only thing I'm sort of certain about at this point. And we've got a yellow flag for... Kuko! He went complete... Kuko has a puncture! Kuko with a puncture on the rear left! So close in the end as Potro and Sully are battling over P3 and P4, and sadly he's helping Gabri in behind as Sully tries to move into turn 1. And Potro drifts wide. Kuko with the puncture crawls back to the pit lane. And that's such a shame. He was in position for a decent result there. And yeah, 1.5 laps, not even 1.5, 1 and a bit laps before the end. It all goes up in smoke for him. Sully also has gotten the 3 seconds of Gabri he needs, and Van der Fox, my goodness me. The gap to PC Woody closed by 4 seconds last lap, but PC Woody, if there was one more lap and the Phantom didn't have 9 seconds of penalties, he might actually be in big trouble. But look at how careful he's being on the throttle, like he's got a raw egg over it. Oh, under it, sorry. And he's gonna nurse that tire home, PC Woody. What a drive by him today. And a crucial win for the championship. PC Woody closes that gap once more. 30 points back coming into Canada. And now it'll be down by another 7 points. Phantom over the line in second place, but he will not keep that. Gabri has a puncture! Gabri with a puncture! Literally 1 corner to go. Is he gonna stay ahead of Guga at least still? I don't think. Oh my goodness me. And Gabri has lost the entire front wing as well. Sully finished second place, Phantom third, then Potro. Gabri with another spin. Drama on the last lap here. 1 lap ago it was Kuko. Now it's Gabri. And Gabri might even finish behind Kuko. Oh my god. Oh, he might finish out the points. I can't believe what I'm seeing. He's using the wall to keep the car stable. It's quite a smart move from Gabri, and he saves at least a 6th position. But that is unbelievable luck for Gabri. Literally 1 corner to go on the tire punctures. Do we have another one? Yes, another one, Edwin! But his car's a lot more stable. But he also will not get points out of this Grand Prix now. 3 punctures in the last 2 laps. First Kuko, then Gabri, then Edwin. He's not gonna bother trying to slow the car down, and that's a DNF for Edwin. Who would have thought? That is quite some drama at the end of the Grand Prix there. Unbelievable stuff. And PC Woody, once again, kept it quiet. He had the race so much under control, but he saw how much the gap was closing, and I think he was also, well, either in or close to puncture range, and just being as nice and careful as he possibly could with those tires. He had the gap to be able to do that. Kuko and Gabri didn't. They were still racing for position, for time gain, to stay within penalty ranges of people. And the same goes for Edwin. And I thought they would easily make the end on the hards. I was poorly mistaken. It was a real struggle to make that work. Piscioli made it work to perfection. And he has been rewarded with a win here in Canada. Sully, a great drive. Back on the podium and back in second place. A great result by him, especially given the conditions that he's racing in. I mean, I'm not sure how bad his injury is. I've not got a doctor's note or anything like that, but I know that he's injured quite badly. He thought he'd be out for weeks. So I'm glad he's even able to race, and to race so well. Phantom Fox also, with a, well, even with those 9 seconds of penalties added, able to finish on the podium, gets a fast lap point as well. Pocho with a great result, up in 4th. Really, all around, so many great drives today, and unbelievable luck, or bad luck I should say, for Gabri, for Kuko, for Edwin. Wow, what drama, what a way to finish that race. And the championship for Gabri, well, it could have been even worse, honestly, because he did a great job actually to bring that P8 home. Probably wasn't much of a consolation for him, but yeah, he thought quickly on how to keep the car from spinning by just putting it up against the wall, which honestly, a little bit dangerous. He could have also DNF'd from that, but honestly, he wouldn't have scored points without that anyway, so was a good choice for sure. And yeah, smart racing there from Gabri, making the best of an unlucky situation. And yeah, I mean, Gabri had a very difficult day altogether. He couldn't even get in the lobby until the last like 4 minutes of qualifying. Did a great job to qualify up in 5th. Was in the battle for the podium for so long, and then to have it taken away on the last lap like that, heartbreaking. But that's racing sometimes. The good news is that we still have some races left to go. 5 races to be exact. And our next one is a big one, the big one, I would say, in Formula 1. The Monaco Grand Prix. Next round, round 14 of the calendar, is at the Principality, at the most iconic track in Formula 1. And a track that surely has got some drama for us. Of course, the mandatory 2-stop rule that was introduced in real life is also implemented in the game. So, well, we don't even have a choice. We have to do a mandatory 2-stop strategy. You will be disqualified if you don't pit twice. So yeah, please do remember to actually pit twice if you'd like to finish the race. Looking forward to that one, very much so. Could be a fun race there. And yeah, then we've got 4 more normal races to go. The Mexican, the Chinese, the Dutch, and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix to round out the season. 5 more races after today. Championship definitely heating up more and more. Like I said, the gap down to 23 points now between Piscioli and Sully. Gabri brought home 4 points, which means he, well, it was 25 if Sully scored 0, but Sully scored 18, which means that he's 43 behind Sully now, so a big setback for Gabri there. But it's not over yet, I would say. He does need some very good results now, and he really can't afford another result like that. It's going to be tough for Gabri from here. It might be another season where he just misses out, which would be, well, I don't want to imagine what he's thinking right now. Yeah. Division 2, what can I say? It always delivers so much drama, great racing, and yeah, it's just absolute cinema. You love to see it, you hate to see it. No matter what, you're always entertained. There's always something really with the emotions. Either you're loving it or you're crying. You're hating it. Yeah. You're never bored, no matter what happens in Division 2. The one thing I think, at least not for long, There's always some quiet moments in races, but you're never bored for too long in Division 2, and that's the thing I love about it. Hence why I've been commentating over it very much, and very much enjoying it, very gladly commentating over it since the inception back in season 10. But yeah, enough waffle for me. I didn't mean to do a whole speech. Just sort of started talking and kept talking. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being a part of this. And I will see you, of course, on Saturday for the Canadian Grand Prix in Division 1. Although I don't think it'll be streamed, sadly, since Garaby's unavailable. But, well, I'll be racing still, so I don't think that'll be streamed, like I said. But those who are racing will see me. And yeah, of course, 7 days from now, the Monaco Grand Prix in Division 2. The big one. The first mandatory two-stop race in Division 2. Of course, we tried it in Brazil in Division 1. Fell quite literally in the water, so it wasn't really a useful test. We'll probably try it again in an off-season event, but that's something for another day, and a Discord announcement, something like that. Yeah, I'll wrap up the stream now before I keep talking more and more. One final time, thank you very much for watching, have a good evening, and goodbye.